Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Easy, Learn Fast with me, Max, at a1websitepro.com, and we're going to be learning about Apache, PHP, MySQL. The way we're going to do these lessons is we're going to take it as if you know nothing about these programs. Now, one thing that I will mention is I posted 2 more posts before this, so this is the 3rd lesson. And what you want to do is want to go back there and set up your XAMPP server. That's XAMPP, XAMPP. And what that will do is get you ready for this lesson here. So what we're going to do is go down to our launchpad here and type in XAMPP, and we're going to fire up our XAMPP for our local server. You do that by hitting start here, and notice this little it was a red dot, and that turns to orange, and then it'll turn to green whenever it's ready to go. Okay, now that we have it turned green, we can see the IP address here, 192.168.64.2, but that means we're ready to start the other services. So if we go in here, this is the MySQL, this is Pro FTPD, this is just a file transfer protocol. We're not going to actually be using this, but we're going to go ahead and run it anyway, and then we have to run Apache. So what we'll do is here is hit Start All, and once they're all green, we're ready to go there. The next thing we want to do is launch our network, and we're going to be using this localhost :8080. So we're going to enable that so we can check out our changes that we do in our applications. The next thing we want to do here is go to volumes and mount this lamp stack. So we'll just click mount, and when we hit explore, that'll open up the folders where we're going to be working on our different projects, especially in this htdocs folder. Okay. Now the one thing that you want to do is go back to general here and hit go to application, and this will fire up your browser. I have Chrome as my browser, so it's firing up Chrome. And you notice this address up here, the 192.168.64.2/dashboard. That's the folder that we're working on. This is actually the local host. And you could get there another way. If you type in localhost, well, let's take the caps off there, localhost, and then you type in :8080, because we're working at port 80, and type in, put a slash in, and then type dashboard, just like so. You'll notice you get to the same spot. Okay, so that's working off port 8080, and that's basically the address syntax that we're going to follow in these lessons. Okay, so let's go to our folders, and let's go. What we need to do is navigate to the folder, and if you ever get lost, just bring up your XAMPP, go to general or to volumes, and to explore, and this shows you where everything is at. And we want to be in this htdocs folder because we want to create another website in here. Just imagine dashboard as a website, or weblizer as a website. We want to create another folder in here. So how would we do that? Well, we'll do that by, we're going to fire up our bb edit, and we're going to create an index file. Okay, and I'm just going to type hi there, but we're just going to go to file, save as, and we want to navigate. If you're not in htdocs, let's say that you're in the main folder, like user MacBook Pro. Well, you know, we're working from lamp and opt, or opt, first it's opt, then lamp, for options and lamp stack. So we're in opt right now, so let's go to lamp, then htdocs, and here's where we want to create a new website. We'll just call that new website test, just like so. Okay. Now we see the folder appear here, test. We want to highlight it and put that index, save that index.php. We want to make sure this Unicode is UTF-8. Okay. Click save, just like that. Now let's go to our browser, and instead of the dashboard, we'll just type in test. Now what that's doing, we typed it index.php. Apache looks for certain files, index.php, index.html, default.php HTML. It's looking for these different files that are very, very customary to the home page. And so index.php is one of them, and that's how we are getting this right here. So let me go ahead and make another one. We'll just go up here, File, save as, and we'll save this as testing.php. And let's go ahead and save that. In fact, hi there, this is the testing.php file. Okay, and I'm going to hit Command S so it saves it in that testing.php. Now, in order to get to that, if we refresh this page, you'll notice it still says hi there. But in order to get to testing, we would type testing.php, and voila, there you go. Hi there, this is the testing.php file. Now, how does it know to show index.php instead of testing.php whenever you take that off there? It's just because of what I explained to you, that the Apache is the server, and it looks for different file types: index, default, home, those types of files there, and it'll display that in the home page, so you don't actually have to type index.php. You can if you like, and it's going to show the same thing. All right. Okay, I wanted to go over on how I created this test folder and the files within test again, just to be sure, because I was watching the video and I looks like I skipped something here. So I already had the index.php file up there. But what if I didn't have? What if I was starting from scratch? There was no files or folders in there. So let me go ahead and close this out here. We'll go up to BB Edit, File, New, and then I'm going to hit Text Document. And this is a new file. Okay. Let me go up to File, Save As. Now, what if desktop came up, or applications, or documents, and you don't know where to look? What you want to do is under devices, user MacBook Pro. We're already in the options, so we're looking for this lamp, L-A-M-P-P. That's our lamp stack, and that takes us to our htdocs and to our test folder. Okay, but let's say we wanted to create another website, a new website. So we'll create another website, and we'll call it foo. All right. So there's foo inside. Well, that's foo inside test. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and delete that. htdocs. Now we want to create a new folder in htdocs, and we're going to call it foo. All right. Now inside foo, we're going to name this file, and we'll call it foo.php. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and click Save. Now we created a new website, and it's called foo, so we're going to go right here, FOO, and put a slash, and let's see what happens. Now notice before, since it's not index or default or home.php, .html, .csv, .asp, whatever application you're working in, it's just showing you a directory of what's in there because we don't have an index. Now if we click on foo, we can see that we see our file. It's a new file. But Apache's saying, hey, I'm not finding an index.php. I'm not finding anything that's going to give this the home page, the thing for people to start at. So what you'd want to do is we could go ahead and open up our foo folder and double click that, and it should bring it up in your editor, and it sure does on mine. And I'm going to go File, Save As, and we're going to rename this to index.php. And let me go ahead and click Save, and I'll change the text in here, and I'll say this is the index.php file. Okay, and I'm going to hit Command S, and it just saves it there. And now when I come back here and I refresh, you can see this is the index.php file, okay, in the foo folder. All right. So I hope that I explained that good enough for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment on the website below in the comments. Up until this point, we haven't done anything with PHP except name the PHP file. Now, there's an important reason why we put .php on the end, and I'm going to try to explain that to you right now. In order for XAMPP or any other server to understand that you're calling in a PHP file, you have to put .php on the end. Sometimes, if you're familiar with making files, in images, you got the .jpeg, .jpg, .gif, .png. Well, that tells the computer how to interpret the image. Okay, so it displays the right image. Well, PHP is no different. In order to let the program know, or the application know, you're writing in PHP, you need to have a .php at the end of your files. Now, in the files, it will display text like this, but if you remember back in the beginner's tutorial, we started with tags, HTML, and then we would close with HTML with that / to indicate that this is the end. Well, in PHP, we have tags too. Okay, but the PHP tag looks like this: less than, question mark, PHP, and then you put whatever inside here, okay, whatever you're going to program, whatever, and then you always have to close it at the end with a question mark and a greater than sign, okay? So inside PHP, let me show you I could show you how this will error out. Okay, PHP is going to give you different warnings and errors. And you notice this warning here: use of undefined constant, whatever, assumed, whatever. This will throw an error in the future version of PHP, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and it'll tell you where that error is. It's on line 2. And if we go here, we have an error on line 2. That's because you can't print on a screen unless you use PHP terminology. Okay, so one of the big ones is echo. Okay, echo whatever. Okay, now notice I started with a single quote. You could also use double quotes. Double quotes will work too. If you use double quotes, in fact, if you looked at other PHP tutorials, they have you use double quotes, but it's a little bit faster if you just use single quotes. Okay, there's going to be so I'd like to get programmers into using single quotes because it makes your applications faster, because it doesn't have to read as much. Okay, now there might be some debate on that, and some experienced programmers that are used to using double quotes, that's fine. But let me go ahead and hit Command S, and that'll save the file. And I'll refresh this page, and you notice that we are echoed out whatever. Okay, so that's PHP doing the work of echoing this whatever. And we could go ahead and put this in an H1 tag. If you remember from the previous lessons, in your HTML, we're having PHP write the HTML. So we're going to hit Command S and save that, and we're going to refresh, and notice that it puts it in an H1 tag. Okay, we can also put P tags in here. Any type of HTML you can put in there. All right, now let's get familiar with some programming terminologies. Okay, you already know what a tag is. You know, that's your PHP tag. This is an echo, and what that does is it prints to the page. You know, prints whatever or echoes out onto the page. And now it'll echo certain things. This is a string, so echo will echo a string out onto the page. Print will do the same thing. Print is another one that is used in PHP. Okay, you see that it prints it right on the page. And we'll just put foo here, just so you can see that it's working. Okay, so there's print, there's echo, and then there's return. We're not going to use return for a little while. We are in the future though. But this is considered a string. So it's printing a string on the page. Now you may ask, well, what the heck is the difference between print and echo? Now I'm going to show you. Echo is actually faster than print, okay? But we could put whatever in an H1 tag here, and then we can put a comma, and then put hi there. And if we save it, we're by putting a comma here, we're putting another parameter and then added another string. If we refresh, we could see we have whatever and then hi there right below it. But if we tried to print this, we would see that we get a syntax error because print can only take one parameter. It can't take multiple parameters like echo can. All right, so that's a difference, and that's why we're mainly going to use echo. Very rarely we're going to use print. It's faster. It does more. Returns a value of 0, whereas print returns a value of 1. And it's not important that you understand that right now, but later on it will come in handy. All right, now some other things that you can do with PHP. You can store variables, and you can name these variables whatever you want. Okay, so instead of echo here, I can put a $sign and just type whatever I want. We'll use foo equals whatever hi there. And I'm just going to save that, and when I refresh the page, you see I have a syntax error because I'm using a variable now, and so I can't store the parameter like that. Okay, it's illegal. Have the PHP police pull me over. But I can do this. Have a variable of foo equals whatever. Now notice I have my single quotes on both ends with my terminator, following the correct syntax. And I will refresh and nothing comes out on the page. Well, why? It's because this is just a variable. Okay, in order to see it on the page, to see it, have it printed out on the page, we would have to echo our variable of foo. Let me save that. We will refresh it. Now you see we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, so we set a variable, we store a string in that variable, then we can echo that string out like that. Okay, now it doesn't matter what you name these. You can name these, do, the DOO. You can have them as long or as short as you want. But what you want to do is have them make sense, A lot of times people will do their variables where they don't make sense. And when you get to programming, you want to, even though you're not going to see it on the page, you're not going to see it printed out on the page, you want it to try to make sense, So this might be the variable of intro, okay? INTRO. All right, and you can see that it's still there, still working properly. PHP can also do math. So let's set a variable of 1, and we will just set the number 1. Here it's not going to be a string, it's going to be a number. Notice I'm not putting any quotes on either side. And then I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste twice. And this one is going to be 2. Right, and we'll set that to 2. Now we're going to take these, if we echo out 1, we save that, refresh, we see we get the number 1 right here, okay? And if we echo out 2, save that, we get the number 2 there. But what if we wanted to add these two together? Well, what we would do is go up here and set a variable of total, okay, because that makes sense, right? Total equals variable of 1, and then we could use the plus sign, and then the variable of 2, all right? And then right here, we'll want to echo out the total. Save that. That's 3. Now remember when I told you that PHP can write HTML? Well, it can, and it can also write a bunch of different other things. It can write JavaScript, CSS, and so let's go over a demonstration on how that's done. Let's go ahead and take all this out of here. And so for our first variable, we're going to write, or we even call it HTML. 2 quotes and a terminator. And maybe in this HTML, we're going to have a P tag, and this is some text. Okay, and then we'll have the closing P tag. In our next one, our next variable, we're going to set a style, for like the style sheet. And we'll go ahead inside here and type style, and we will target the P tag, open and close curly brackets, and we'll say color red, font size 55 pixels. Okay? So in order for this to be displayed on the page, let me go ahead and save this. We'll refresh. You notice nothing's there. We need to echo it out onto the page, right? So I can echo HTML. I could also echo style. Okay. Go ahead and refresh. You can see I get the desired result. Now, there's different ways to write this. I could have just took this whole string right here. I could cut it out there, just put it right in there. Get rid of that style tag. And I get the same result. Okay? We could even change the color to blue. All right? So, you can do anything that you can do in HTML and PHP and then more, because then you could take this variable, have this saved somewhere and store it on every page. You don't have to keep rewriting the same page again. Okay, I hope you're enjoying what you're learning, and the next lesson that we come on to, we're going to put a web page in PHP instead of writing out the doing the .html and writing all the HTML. We're going to write the HTML in PHP and have PHP write the HTML for us in the next lesson. So that I'll be able to show you a basic web page setup in PHP, and we're going to be using different PHP files to construct that web page. And from there, we're going to go on. We're going to make it a little bit more dynamic. So if you like learning this way, I'm going to go as slow as I can. And if you need any clarification, don't hesitate to comment in the box below. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you know any friends or anybody else that's interested in learning PHP, this is the new PHP7. Eventually, we're going to be getting into databases, connecting to databases, processing forms, emails, so on and so forth. And then we're going to build a little website that'll have all this functionality in it. But this is Max with A1 Website Pro. I hope you enjoy learning easy, learning fast.